From newstalkzb.co.nz.
It's Leighton Smith.
Prime Minister, leader of the National Party, John Key, good morning.
Good morning, Leighton.
Would you like a cup of Dilmah?
Nothing better than having a nice cup of tea.
Would you like to sweep the studio? Because I feel that there might be somebody listening. You never know. There might be a recording device.
You just never know. There could be a recording device. You just never know.
Quite seriously, how could you or John Banks not have seen that bag there before you did? And what about the Diplomatic Protection Squad?
Yeah, well, I think in the end, the responsibility has to rest with me. I don't think you can realistically blame DPS. I mean, they have a lot of things to do. But what happened was there was an enormous amount of media there that day. So it was a big media scrum. We went over, I took my jacket off, we sat down at the table. There was a lot of media gathered around me. And I was looking at Banksy, obviously, and we were starting this conversation. They were initially, as they always do with those sort of meetings, recording a little bit of it up front, get a bit of colour for it. And then I remember them saying, look, you have to leave and take any recording devices with you. And look, from the rest is sort of history. I found it as soon as I saw it, I knew exactly what had gone on.
But how far into the conversation was it when you saw it?
Oh, at the very end, yeah. All the way through. See, what happened was at the very end, when the conversation was being wrapped up, I looked to my left because the other time I'd been looking forward. I saw it there. I thought, oh, hello. Opened it. The thing was on. And look, I can go through endless sort of stuff, but there are so many inconsistencies with this guy's story. And that's why it's before the police. But in very broad terms, you don't have a listening device. You're concealed in a pouch. No other listening device was. The guy said he tried to come to see our people during the conversation, get it turned off. Not true. The guy said he didn't hear the conversation, didn't even know if he had one until he got back to the Herald on Sunday to HQ. Not true. He actually told our person there, yeah, I've got a recording, I've got a device. Said he didn't hear what was going on well, had his ears in and told us the sound quality was okay, etc., etc. Says he's not deliberately doing it. Wow, he shopped it around a few media outlets, and not least them being obviously the Herald on Sunday. You can go on and on and on. I don't care about what's on the tape.
Okay, let's forget what's on the tape, right?
Yeah,
I'm not going to ask you what's on the tape for the simple reason that you've said often enough, you're not going to discuss it. So what's on the tape? So what did you and Mr. Banks talk about? Well,
it was a wide-ranging conversation, and I'm not going to go through that because they're one and the same thing because they've taped the entire conversation.
Well, that is provided you can hear it and all those things. So there's always the possible assumption that the tape actually doesn't really work very well.
Yeah,
so what did you talk about?
According to the guy who secretly taped it, it does work well. Apparently he's got a conversation. So I'm not going to go through that. That's before the police. But what I am going to say is this. Look, I don't care about that tape per se. As I've said, I think the conversation, from my memory, I've never listened to the tape, but my memory of it was the conversation was very bland. And because I saw the device at the end of it, it wasn't like I'm trying to remember a conversation I had 3 days ago. I'd literally finished the conversation. And when I went out and did the stand-up with all of the media, I was very relaxed. I knew the guy had taped me. I knew he deliberately taped me at that point, in my view. But I was very relaxed about it. What I object to, and this is why I'm standing up about it, is, look, this is just news of the world tactics. And you can say, who cares about the Prime Minister of the day? But it will move, as it did with the news of the world, to everybody else. And when they get a famous personality having a conversation with their wife about a suicidal child, will that be okay? Because that's where it goes. And if people don't believe me, every mobile phone you've got's got a recording device in it now. That's the future of where we're at. So as far as I'm concerned, I believe it was deliberate. I'll put it in the hands of the police. They can go and deal with it.
So how are they going to deal with it?
Oh, well, they run their own investigation. In the end, in due course, they'll have to interview the interested parties, and I guess they'll decide whether they're going to take a prosecution. And
there will not be, I presume, anything before the election?
I can't answer that question. That's a matter you'd have to put towards the police.
Right. So from here on in, how much more careful will both you and the Diplomatic Protection Squad be?
Well, we'll be careful, but look, at the end of the day, it's easy to do this sort of stuff. When I go to 100 different environments, these things are always possible, and that's the nature. It's one of the reasons why I object to this, which is, as I say, it's not this tape. What I'm worried about is the principle. And in the end, the Herald on Sundays, its relationship with this person, and what involvement it had will have to come out. I don't know, but when there was an email conversation between my office on the Saturday night and the Herald on Sunday, the Herald on Sunday referred to this person as their staff member. So that's the email, and we'll give that to the police.